What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Person. My name is Chris. That's Mike.
What's going on?
Guys, it's Walking Dead time. That's right, we're back. Mikey, we're back.
Yes, season 9.
Season 9. I feel like we haven't done a Walking Dead video in a very long time.
Well, it has been a while.
It has been quite a while. Guys, we're going to be talking episode 1 of season 9. It's called The New Beginning.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy, there's a bit of stuff to talk about. But Mikey, before we get into the nitty gritty, tell me how you felt. What'd you think about coming back to the show after all this time and after the last season?
Well, the show's gonna have to prove to me to really get my feelings going like it used to be,
right.
Way back in the early seasons. But I enjoyed it. I think that with Angela Kang now being the showrunner, I'm kind of interested in seeing what she was going to do and how she was going to put her stamp on the show. And I think, I wrote a couple things. We'll get to it later, but I wanted to kind of see what the differences may be and if you could pick them out from Gimple. You know what I mean? So, overall, I thought the episode was good.
All right, yeah. So my take on it is, I needed a break. I needed a break from The Walking Dead. I didn't even watch. We obviously didn't do Fear the Walking Dead on this show. I think Mike and I were, we were a little burnt out of, I don't know if it was just the zombie genre or just The Walking Dead in general, and we were really, really hard on season 8. A lot of people were, and
yeah, we're not the only ones.
We're not the only ones. But the thing is, it's hard. I guess it's hard being diehard fans of a show that you've watched since day one, but also of the comics. And of course, Mike and I try not to compare to the comics very much. We do bring it up a lot, but you know what? It's like you have the storytelling and the storyline of the comics, and I understand it's all different writing, different writers are doing this stuff. But point is, we were burnt. We felt, burnt, and it's we're just a couple of guys, idiots on YouTube talking about a show, but still, we're in it, we're doing it, and so I know I needed the break. And I wasn't even really excited to get back into The Walking Dead until maybe this week coming up, the past few days. I started being like, you know what? Maybe I am ready for this. Maybe I am. If it's going to be good, if it, they're going to do the time jump and do all this stuff. And there is a new showrunner, like you said, Mike. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go in with open minds. I'm going to look at it again back in season 6 or beginning of 7, even the beginning of 8, being like, all right, let's get in this. So, having said all that, I think, I think it was a good opener. It's real serious. I forget how it's kind of a drag, actually, when you think about it.
Serious in what way? What do you mean exactly?
I mean, it's just it's a show that takes itself very seriously. And that coming off of watching, in the interim since season 8, seeing all these other shows, and we do a lot of Into the Badlands stuff, and Into the Badlands is serious, but it's got a levity to it. You know what I'm saying? And and there are other shows similar that are serious in tone, but there's a levity. And just getting back into this was like, oh yeah, this is kind of like a not so much a downer, but it's heavy. It's heavy stuff. But overall, I'm gonna say I liked it. I'm not at the point where I'm like, if this wasn't good, I'm not gonna watch the rest of the season.
I mean, you know what, dude? Listen, it's the first episode. It's just basically we're just seeing this is just the first of many, and this is the foundation of season 9 now. It just gives us where everything has gone. It's a 1.5-year time jump. The intro I thought was really cool. Let's see what the freshness, if there's going to be some kind of a fresh start with this. So we're seeing how all the communities are working together, and we're seeing, rifts between major characters, and we're seeing new relationships and Gregory the Weasel, so we're just kind of just laying the ground rules now for what I think may be a pretty good season 9.
Well, I think one of the things that you and I are looking for are those interactions between the characters and the dialogue, and because that's one of our major gripes. It's just the dialogue was so just The dialogue was just like what.
There was a lot going on,
but like we were always like,
where the
but like where was the motivation for the things that were happening in the show? That was the problem you and I had with it mostly. If you look back, like, and you hear all the stuff we said about it, was like, why are these characters doing these particular things? Not like we have any, not like we're the ones that I can write it better. That's not the point. The point was, it just didn't make sense to a lot of people, not just us. Like where things went were like, why are we hearing this dialogue? Why are they doing this? And it was just so weird. But
we got a lot of characters that we didn't necessarily want to hear from. That's what it was. And the point is we had Oceanside people. We had Tara episodes and Oceanside episodes, and there was a lot. And we mentioned this. There was a lot of characters all over the place because we're trying to get everybody together for the war. So, you know what? I think a lot of it was the fact that it took so long to get from the bashing of Glenn and Abraham to what we got at the finale in season 8. Everything was a bit dragged out, and that's why I'm hoping, and I said it already, but like a fresh start for everything. And like I said before, we're having now. It's not. The communities, they didn't have to say, all right, well, these people are doing this. These people are going to be blacksmithing. They kind of just gave it all to us, bang, bang, bang. So I'm kind of glad that they did it that way. And they didn't drag out what everybody's been doing. We learned out right away.
Not only that, they're not in a situation because, like, just for example, the cut in the book, all the communities had their own jobs. And in this one, they're like, okay, well, we're beginning to see, these guys give these people this and these guys. However, that's not all exactly where it is, because it's like, well, these people could not give this other group of people their stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see it as they're helping each other. They just see it as like they're being generous with each other. And that's why we're
that's
getting...
why there's going to be a lot of rifts.
Because...
we've seen the rifts.
Yeah, but I mean... you talk
how
about
prosperous and everything Hilltop is. Hilltop obviously seems to be the one that's doing the best. Alexandria is obviously, up there in second place, and the Sanctuary is not necessarily pulling their own weight, and that's where the season's going to progress probably within the next few episodes. Obviously, there's going to be some internal people. There's still going to be saviors at the Sanctuary. We saw with the writing on the wall at the Sanctuary. Yeah. That's a big thing, and my favorite scene of the whole episode was the dialogue with Rick and Daryl. And even on Talking Dead, Daryl said how, all right, it's about time I actually got to speak a little bit. Daryl is, Hardwick made a joke about how he's just basically does nothing but grunts and mms and all these kind of things. So he said himself that he was excited for obviously getting into some cool dialogue with Rick. And we saw the tension there. We saw how this Daryl doesn't necessarily agree with how Rick is handling things, and how the Sanctuary is not pulling their own weight. And then Maggie wants, all right, I'll give more for them, but I need all their ethanol that they're making from the corn and all this kind of stuff. So
she says that she wants them she wants the workers to do the bridge. She wants Sanctuary to work on the bridge. That's what she wants.
Yes, but she said
she wants their ethanol and the bridge workers, right? Yeah, both. She wants them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But just going back for a second, talking about fresh starts. Where the Walkers are back, right? Walkers are back and they're dangerous again, and I think that's something that Angela Kang is trying to bring back to the show. The whole purpose of this is the show's called The Walking Dead. It's not called, the asshole humans. You know what I'm saying?
The Walking Dead has a lot of meanings, though.
But what I'm saying is,
they're
bringing back the
zombies. Roots.
Right, they're bringing back the fact that they are scary. Well, I was watching this with my wife, and I'm like, oh wow, obviously, we're really seeing these decayed zombies, and they're still around, but you could see the time has passed now. You can see how they all are, but they're dangerous again. You got the spider zombie, you got the de-evolved zombie, or the de-evolution of man, which was really cool. Gabriel enjoyed that, but you mentioned to me off camera, they're calling it the zombie Old West now. They said on the Talking Dead and stuff. And, they're going to the museum and it's like, what are they doing? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then it dawned on me, okay, yeah, they're taking all this old tech because this is where it is now. Like, they need this, to do all this stuff. And, and I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that that's what they're doing. I like the idea of, okay, these people are now, these guys are like on this side, and these guys are in this town, and these guys are in this town. They're all like calling each other on the walkie-talkies, and kind of like that. And where else are you going to go with the show? That's the point.
Yeah.
You can't have the same small group running. Like Daryl says, it was better when it was just us, but not for the, but for the viewer, like, how much of that can we take?
Yeah.
Had the show gone a different way, if the show wasn't based on a comic, I think they might have stayed with that small group a lot longer.
I mean, realistically, you think that if anything like this, God forbid, ever happened, that might be your best bet. There's a handful of people that you trust, especially that you survived for such and such amount of time.
Right, yeah.
That it's going to be tough because we see the struggles right off the bat. We see the pulling of weight and who's doing better than what. We're seeing the rifts. We said this again, and that was what this episode was all about. Is to show us where everybody was after a year and a half. How are we going to deal with these things, and giving us hints of episodes to come? It's crazy because, like you said earlier, we don't have necessarily a foe. So the Walker's coming forward again, and I love that part of it. But it's going to take a little bit more for me to make the Walker the number one threat again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that they spoke and there was some dialogue in the episode where they said, "Oh, the hordes and this."
Well,
and this,
I was going to say
diverting.
They mentioned the hordes. They mentioned that more than a few times. They mentioned the word hordes.
It's cool that that's what they're pushing for, because we always spoke about that before we had the governor, before we had this and Negan and the termites and all these kind of things. It was just about them. So let's see. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to pull it off. How Angela Kang tries to pull it off. But
that's the thing. Like you said, this was a ground setting. It was setting the ground rules. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going to happen next. I'm hoping that these next episodes give us some really good scenes with some real, like, again, whenever we speak anything about the show, the acting, the actors, they're phenomenal. It's not that. It's the situations that these people are put in that are just so. That's the thing. We want, man, you got to wow us. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a show that's built on action and built on sorrow and built on, this type of depression type thing.
Yeah.
You're not talking something like Better Call Saul where there's not, it is what it is. It's like intrigue and like, backhanded stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a show that's got to be like, it's in your face. It's got to happen. Things got to happen. Now, to move this along, I want to talk about the Gregory storyline. That's been a long time coming. I'm happy. This is, that happened in the comic. I'm happy that I didn't go back.
It's about time.
But it's very similar to what happens, and this is the thing. But let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
The whole time in the back of your head, you're thinking, well, they're gonna be gone though. Maggie and Rick are gone, right? So, right? Tell me you weren't thinking that, man.
You know what? I mean, it's not 100%. I don't think with Maggie though, because from what I see is. It doesn't necessarily. She didn't necessarily say specifically 100% that she's not coming back. I don't think. I know Rick for sure. Maggie, I think we're still on the fence. But regardless, that's going to be the biggest issue of season 9. In number one, is Rick going to even? I think they said he's going to be out before the half. So I don't even think he's going through the whole. Season 9.
That means that whatever's happening is setting this up. You see, that kind of ruins it, though. In a way, it like
I know, dude.
It kind of ruins it because now the whole thing you're going to be like, okay, this whole thing is being set up to. I mean, and the thing is too, the same thing with Negan. Like it's like the Negan thing. Like we were all being set up for Negan, set up for Negan, set up for Negan. Now that didn't disappoint. But now we're setting up for Andrew Lincoln leaving. Okay, how's it going to? Oh, I get it. Now, unless they do something very interesting and get that writing, get that going, and being like, oh wow, we didn't think about that.
They're gonna have to do that. There's no other option. That's what they have to do, because you know what, it's difficult. The story, and I spoken to several people about this. Obviously, it's based off the comic book. Everybody knows that. The most strongest plots are always used. You know, Call with His Eye and the Governor and the prison and all those main stories are being shown on screen on the television show. So it's going to be hard to fill the shoes with Rick gone, because the comic #1 is still much further along than this. So who's gonna step into those shoes? Do they choose Carol? Do they choose Ezekiel? Do they choose who knows about Maggie, like you said, or Daryl? It's going to be tough. Will they do a crossover thing? They teased us with it a lot with Fear, with obviously now Morgan going over there, and then on the Fear. I mean, you didn't watch Fear, but I watched it. And they did a lot of teasing in the last few episodes of Fear season 4.
Being like, oh, come back to Alexandria.
Come back with me. And Morgan, it's even cool just for Morgan to say, I got friends back, in Alexandria, Virginia, and all this kind of stuff. Come back with me. So could I see maybe some of these characters crossing over? Who knows? But they're going to have to really come up with something extraordinary to fill Lincoln's boots. You
know what it is? We don't know. We're the end result. We're the end user, and they need to make money on this stuff. This is their livelihood. These people, the people that run AMC, the people that are showrunners, the people that are the writers, it's very easy for people, for viewers like us, to sit here and go, what are they doing? And they better do this and they better do that. But it's like, this is like a multi-million-dollar situation here. Like, they're doing, they're doing the best they can. It can all go away. You're right, but I'm saying they're doing the best they can to make this the most accessible for everybody, and something that people enjoy watching as well as creating. And I think we forget that sometimes. And, the fact that, we've been involved in Into the Badlands and speaking with the people who create the show, who star on the show, like, it's like, for me, it opened my eyes, especially this past summer with us, trying to push Into the Badlands, to AMC to get them to go to Comic-Con and all this stuff. It's like, I know I learned a lot about what goes on and how these things work. And, so it's just, but yeah, we're the end user. Like, they're making it for us. Like, we're the reason they're on TV. It's for us. It's for us to enjoy. So, the thing is, it's like, well, I honestly didn't see a huge, directional, I didn't see a shift in tone per se, having a new showrunner and everything like that. It's going to be the next episodes that do this. What I do like, though, is I like these relationships. I like Carol and Ezekiel. You've got Rick and Michonne. We got a new guy. Yeah, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Brett Butler, was she in it previously?
No.
I thought we saw her somewhere. I could have sworn, unless I'd seen her somewhere recently. But, that whole thing is like, man, I'm gonna be honest. I find that boring, where it's like, he shouldn't have went with it's like, excuse me. He's a grown man. He decided to go there, and he's the idiot that tried to save the horse. Like, it kind of annoys me. Like, I wish it was just like a little bit like, well, my son, I can't believe my son's an idiot. I told him not to go. I didn't want him to go, and now he's dead. I kind of blame you, but I know it's also because he had his own path and stuff, and it's like,
well, that's not how the writers decided to do it, obviously, because they wanted to pin Gregory. That was Gregory's in.
But you know what, though? I'm down with it. I'm down with it because, screw that guy. Look, Xander Berkeley, don't get me wrong. He's played that guy perfect. He was like, he was the, sorry, Xander, you're a fantastic actor. I've loved you since before you were in 24, but you play a bastard really well, which is why they cast you probably. So,
Yeah, it was about time with him.
It's gonna be sad to see Xander go because I love watching him work his weasel ways on screen. But
yeah,
but yeah, that happened, and that's like it opened it up, and it's like this is Maggie now. This is what's gonna happen,
Yeah, well, let's see. Like you said, let's see how the show evolves. Let's see what's going to happen if, in fact, Maggie leaves the show, and who's going to step up. And you know what? A big part is, and it's difficult. It's going to be difficult for a lot of fans. Is the fact that Andrew Lincoln is leaving because he's been the main guy. It's not like he's a Daryl or something like that, or one of these. Not even like Daryl's a secondary character, but But
Daryl's not the linchpin.
Yeah, exactly. And from the beginning, and we've been following the show for so many years now. So they have they have some big shoes to fill with AMC and what kind of idea they have.
You know, they might be. From all the things we've been seeing and hearing, they're going to push this franchise forward. They're looking to make TV movies. They're looking to make other spin-offs in other countries.
Well, they're cashing in. But
it's more than they see. No, but see,
it is.
It is cashing in. But you know what? Though they're trying to. I feel like I like the fact that they're trying to evolve it. The only problem is that I find with that is that you have shows like Z Nation and there's just so many.
That's other channels that are trying to cash in on the genre.
Here's the problem, dude. This is what happened with Fear the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was such a flash in the pan, very specific thing because of these characters.
Yeah.
It was these characters that made the show, not the zombies, not not any of that crap or the apocalypse. It was these characters. So when Fear the Walking Dead started, we started this channel with Fear the Walking Dead back in season 2 of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you didn't have an established setting. You didn't have the characters just weren't what these characters were. And I think that's going to be an issue, not to say that, again, the actors they choose are fantastic, but it's like the characters have to have something in this particular franchise. And it's like, they have their own very big boots to fill when it comes to creating new content in this franchise, and again, now, dude, zombie stuff is like a dime a dozen. That's the problem. So how do you stand out from all these copycats?
Well, I mean, listen, they're the originator.
But
obviously,
that's the point. It doesn't matter.
Modern.
That doesn't matter anymore. That does just because you started it doesn't mean that you're the best still.
I'm not saying it's the best.
No, but I'm just saying
people
I'm putting
always
that out
look
there.
As people always look as Walking Dead as the one who popularized the zombies for the new decade and all this kind of stuff. I mean, listen, it kind of turned into more of what we hope the show is going to come into this video, but I think.
Well, like you said earlier, man, you said not a lot happened.
No,
I mean, yes, stuff happened.
Telling us where,
but it was for me. It was a very low key, opener. It was a very low key opener. Like last year's opener, dude, and the following 2 or 3 episodes of season 8 were probably the best that the show's ever had. Because of the content,
they're promising us that it's going to be bang bang. That's what Angela Kang said. So I'm going to hold her to it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, this was a good ground.
Yeah.
They had to give us it was an hour and 27 minutes of let's see where they are now. Where are they now type situation, which is fine. There's a lot of episodes in this season. There's a lot of episodes for these seasons. It's like, what's interesting is that you come off of something like now that we binge watch. We binge watch Netflix and there's 8 to 13 to 10, 8, 10, 13 episodes for some of these things, 16 episodes for these shows that I know I watch. I watch with my kids. I watch with my wife. It's like we're such in this mentality now. This week by week stuff is hard, number one. Number two, it's a lot of it. And if you watch shows like Arrow and The Flash, Supergirl, Legends, and all that stuff, I watch a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's 22, 23 episodes of that. It's a lot of content. And like you mentioned earlier, they stretched out All Out War over so many episodes to fill the season. Whether that was one of the reasons or not, I have to assume it was at least one of the reasons, is to fill the episode gap, right? You need to use filler somewhere.
Yeah.
Not every episode pushed towards the end, even though, whatever. But my point is I get it. I get it. That, I'm just, I don't know, man. I want to finish this off with my thoughts being like, I did enjoy this. I did have a good time. My wife hasn't watched it in such a long time either, and she sat down and watched this with me, and she was, at one point she's on the edge of her seat too, like when Maggie got attacked and stuff, and we were like, oh man, like this is good, like this is good, this is what we want this stuff, and I enjoyed it, man. I cringed. I went, man, look at that, when that spider came out of the zombie's face, and all the little spiders, and like when Ezekiel fell, we were like, oh man, like it.
Well, you knew that he wasn't gonna fall to his death or anything like that, but yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you. And
yeah. Let's see what Angela can do. I mean, I'll give her a B for the opener.
Okay.
We'll see where it goes from then. But I mean, we mentioned the spider thing, and we mentioned the new opening, and those were just a few things that I kind of saw that I thought were a little bit different, and the evolution thing, like we spoke with earlier. So it seems like she's trying to put her footprint there. So let's see what happens. I mean, it's episode 1 of 9. Let's go.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that's gonna do it. So listen, Mike and I had to get that all off our chest, and we had to get into this. And again, not a whole lot happened this episode, so our minds aren't blown, but obviously we're looking forward to see what's going on, and we want to hear what you guys have to say. I know you guys got a lot. Those of you who are watching this that have been following our channel for a long time, hey, you were right there with us all this way, and now we're looking to you again. Tell us what you think. Tell us where you want this to go. Let's talk about where you guys want this to go. What you guys think Angela Kang can do for our show.
Yeah, well, let's hope we get some good comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. Obviously, like Chris said, a Third Person Podcast, of course, on YouTube, and check us out at Third Person Pod on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter. And check us out on iTunes as well, Third Person Pod.
And I'm going to put this last thing out there, guys. Mike and I aren't actually in any groups for The Walking Dead at the moment. Not anything that we were really taking part in. But if you guys have a good Facebook group that's got a lot of viewers, a lot of group members or whatever that you're in and you enjoy, and it's a good community, let us know. Put it down in the comment section, or you can private
put those links in.
Message us on anything, or just add us on anything. Let us know. Let us know what groups you think we should be in. We'd like to promote the show, our show, to talk about this show. So, and if you want us in there to talk with you guys, let us know. Let us know what groups are out there so we can join it and we can get into the conversation too. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. If you are fans of Into the Badlands, please go check out those videos over there. We've got a lot of interviews. We've got a new trivia game going with the cast members and the community members. And we're doing a lot of good stuff on that show over there for our show.
We got a giveaway going on also with Into the Badlands.
That's right. We got a giveaway going on for Into the Badlands.
Check it out.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry for all the long-windedness, but it is what it is. We'll see you on the next Walking Dead video. Bye.
Peace.